What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Today, I want to talk about something, that's very important, and that is letting someone benefit from your ignorance. And what do I mean by that? There's a lot of information in the world, and we have access to more information now than at any point ever in the history of mankind. We no longer need a central library for information. With the internet, we have access to all information across the world at any point in time, all at once. It's unprecedented. Now, that is a good thing. That actually is a good thing because, that means that you have more informed people than ever before. What that also means is on the negative side, with all that information, it is difficult for some people, to decipher what information is good or not good. By good, I mean what information is correct. Like, what is the correct information and what is just horse crap, right? And because of this duality of information or access to information, there are people who make money off of your ignorance of how to decipher from what is proper information and what is improper information, what is correct and what is incorrect. Right? Now, people like this have been around the world for long. There's always been people who have profited off of the ignorance of people. That's always been the case. That hasn't changed. The only thing that has changed is the amount of information and the way the information is disseminated. Right? The more people you have, the more people you can deceive. And because we have more information now than we have ever had before, that means that more people can be deceived than ever before. That also means that there are more people who can do the deceiving. Okay? Now, back in, say, like the medieval times, you may have had maybe one or two people who could deceive the masses. That's just due to the information that you had and the location in which you were living and the climate of that day. But now, because you have internet, Google, social media, all that stuff, and with the population being close to 8 billion, the amount of people you have that could lead you astray has increased, right? So we must be aware of people who seek to benefit from your ignorance. And the thing is, how, somebody might say, that sounds good, but how do you decipher? How do you sift through? How do you vet? Right? How do you vet the information to see if it's correct or not? And a good question, but there's not really just one answer. I mean, there are many ways to decipher that. There are many ways to sift through information and see, okay, if this information is correct or this information is not. Well, the best way, how they always say, experience is the best teacher? Well, that's one of the best ways I'm getting the mail. Oh, crap. That's one of the best ways to, pick through the misinformation is experience. And you can experience, one of the best ways to experience is if, you were taught the information firsthand, or if, you travel. The best way is to travel. If someone tells you about the history of a particular place, and and they may tell you about, oh, these people did this and these people did this and they studied this. The best thing to do is, if you don't have, you either can go through the internet and look up the internet and just see what research is done on a particular area or something. But usually the best way is to travel. Traveling is one of the best ways to differentiate between what's real and what's not. Because someone can tell you about what it's like to live in Central America. Somebody could tell you that from books and stuff like that, right? But someone tell you that from a book that they've read or that they've written can never compare to someone actually going to a country in Central America and being amongst the people and experiencing the culture of the people in Central America, right? So that's one of the ways you can inoculate yourself against, people trying to exploit your ignorance. Travel. Or another way is you can say, okay, if you can't go to that place, you can have that place come to you by befriending people who are from that particular area or who have first-hand information in that area, right? Now, what's another way of doing this? I'll use myself as an example, right? Use myself as an example. For those who don't know, I'm a Freemason. I've done a video about this, and it's nothing new. And people who know this, they may have their opinions about it, positive or negative, but those who speak about that particular, oh my God, he's loud. Those who speak about that particular subject but don't have any experience in it whatsoever can easily be manipulated by people who also claim that they know but may not. Or they may have a piece of the information, and they can use a piece of the information to exploit the full ignorance of an individual. But how many of those people who are ignorant to the information or who have a piece of the information will actually go through the entire process to learn it completely? See, because being ignorant is dangerous, but having a piece of information is just as worse as being ignorant, because that means you don't know the whole story, but you can exploit someone who doesn't. They said how in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. That's what it's like to have a little bit of information. A little bit of information can be dangerous, because the man with one, in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. So you gotta be careful about who you entrust your ignorance to. Because we're all ignorant to a degree about something. There's always something that we can be ignorant about. There are many things I'm ignorant about, right? But we have to be careful about who we give our ignorance to. Because when you entrust your thoughts when you give validation to someone based on information, you have given them stewardship over your ignorance, and you're entrusting them to do right by what you know and by what you don't know. And if a person is wicked with that information that they have, they can manipulate your ignorance to your detriment. They will benefit, but you will not. So we have to be careful about who we allow stewardship over our ignorance. Don't let someone profit off of your ignorance, especially if it does you no good. If what they teach, if what somebody is showing you or teaching you does not benefit you, it is a detriment to you, and someone has played with your ignorance, and that can be extremely dangerous. Okay? All right. Hope you enjoyed my little talk. Comment down below, and all that stuff, and I will catch you all later. Peace.